Okay, DM2 spawns. This is the best spawn. Or most of the time this is the best spawn. Take the low, put your crosshair here. If it's enemy coming through, that gives you the best chance of killing him with a single rocket. If you don't kill him, switch to the shotgun thereafter, or just leave him. And it's not that important to kill him. What's important is to get to secret as quickly and as healthily as possible, and to make sure you have at least 4 ammo. Don't use 2 or 3 rockets here at low. So it might be something like direct and go. It might be something like a splash, but I don't care, take the health and go. Or it might be, it's team there, so I can just go. Okay, take secret and get to this spot. While you're doing that sequence, basically from shooting the first rocket to getting to here, make sure that you are listening and that you're reading overlay and or team messages. You need to understand, did enemy slip or did team slip? Did anyone trick to quad yet? What's happening at high? You want to build up a mental model of what it looks like behind this wall, and that comes with experience. So sometimes you'll be feeling fantastic at this point. You know no one's slipped yet, you know no one's tricked yet, you know you're going to see a lot of bodies here. Maybe you shoot them, maybe you just rocket jump over them, but either way, quad's yours, and you're probably going to be able to secure high for a teammate as well. On the flip side of that, sometimes you might get here and you know enemies slipped very quickly, but you haven't heard anyone take quad yet. And what that means is that that enemy quad rocket launcher is imminently about to take quad. So you could potentially die to a quad rocket as soon as you step here, and it does happen in games. So sometimes you need to be a little careful, but it all comes down to listening to the information. Then we have a spawn here and a spawn here. This one's a little more debatable, but I think good advice is for these 2 spawns to converge on this point here and try and trick. This guy is of course the tricker, and sometimes you see less experienced players doing sort of this kind of stuff, and they're not quite sure where they're meant to be and they're panicking. First of all, this is the step, but I would say always face this way. One, I think it's easier to understand if you're actually on the right step, so it's just general advice, not necessarily for the start of the map. But also, it lets you fight and be engaged in these fights. And thirdly, if an enemy comes around here, I can step off very quickly and make sure I don't trick him to quad, which is the worst possible outcome. This spawn here should also play a part in that trick. It can be tempting to do this off the spawn, but try to get into the habit of turning right, taking a yellow, and then taking part in that fight. Okay, so 4 spawns, 1 big, 1 below quad, 2 here converging at quad. 2 spawns at teleporter. Now is probably a good time to mention that there are 9 spawns on DM2. So at the start of the map, 1 spawn will not be used. So sometimes you can spawn here by yourself, which is quite a nice treat. Especially if you spawn here, you can quickly press and go. But most of the time, you'll be fighting an enemy or with a teammate. And if you're fighting an enemy, whoever picks up this health pack is probably going to win that shotgun battle. So try to get into the habit of doing this. And also if you spawn here and this person is less experienced, you may be able to quickly get past him and get on this health pack. But either way, this fight's going to take a while. And I like to call out during the fight, no one has slipped yet. Because that's good information for the team, and especially good information for a team rocket coming through secret. Okay. If you spawn here with a teammate, then turn around, let him press the button. And that'll save you a couple of seconds. Take yellow, take high, take quad. Okay. You do have to be able to do this jump. I think this is an important jump to have in your toolkit, and you should be using it confidently at the start of the game. And I think whilst it might seem hard at first, you can get to a point where you can make that 90-95% of the time. Coming back the other way is a lot harder, and I wouldn't really recommend that to most players. Okay, if I do take the high and take the quad, then remember what we said about the low rocket launcher is going to be coming here, so I may be able to kill him stone dead right there. So just bear that in mind. But either way, you're now in a strong position, especially if you slip very quickly. If I'm the second person slipping, I know my teammate's taking all that stuff, so I can come across here, I can take GL, and I can wait and see. Does he want this stuff? He might do, he might not. Okay, so let's give him the option, and then if necessary I can take it all, I can come down here, and now I'm 150, 200 with a GL, and I'm in a great spot for a weapon, which will probably be the low weapon, but it is quite situational dependent, depending on, you know, where the weapons are, where the quad's going, and so on. I may want to try and quickly slip, but either way I need to be at a weapon, that's for sure. That just leaves 2 spawns down here. This one, most of the time you're either going to die or it's going to be team here. If it's team here, I can go to big, take a yellow, try and fight in big. Or, I guess there's a very slim chance, okay, oh sorry, there's a slim chance that I can take the low myself and go through that path that we just looked at with the secret and the quad and so on. And then I guess, you know, there's a very, very slim chance that it's teammate here, but no one spawned behind, so I could take behind. Okay. And then that just leaves this spawn here. And I kind of left this till last because I think it's the most ambiguous one. So if you look at the instructional image that shows the spawns, it'll say take this, and basically sit here till the 30-second mark. And of course put yourself in a position for next low. And I don't think this is bad advice whatsoever. I think it's a little bit passive potentially, but I think if you're less experienced, it's probably the best advice. Okay, so I can take, you know, take everything. I wouldn't take the rockets at this point because you may have a teammate who comes to low needing them. But I can sit here. These are easy frags. If anyone spawns here, I might hear someone come to low. Could be a rocket, could be a quad. I can step up here, and that's an easy kill, or at least I can make them run away. I know this is going to be on 22. I can take that, and now at this point I probably take the rockets and come out to low and fight for low. Okay, so it's no guarantee, but of course you've got all the resources here to give you a great shot getting that low. What I would probably do is spawn, take it all, and then go into big for a look. And sometimes you'll immediately know it's bad because enemies slipped, enemies tricked, and I want no part of it. But sometimes it'll still be up for grabs, and you can come in here and really make mincemeat of these people here. And you may find yourself in a good fight with a rocket launcher, or against a weak quad, or whatnot. So this can be good, but there is a lot of judgment involved in this because you don't want to overcommit and lose your entire stack fighting guys that don't matter, or having a really bad fight against a rocket where you can't close the distance and do damage. So it is a little trickier. Certainly I think staying behind is safer, but I think if you're a little bit more confident, have a look and make a decision, and then if I come back, I'll still comfortably be back here around the 13-second mark, let's say. And if there's an enemy here, I can kill him, and I can take this red still anyway, and I could still find myself back in the same spot we spoke about, but I at least give myself an opportunity to make something happen. So either way, but that's the DM2 start.